in the stillness of a 12th century morning, as mist curled around the hills of Burgundy and the bells of Clairvaux tolled across the valley, a monk knelt alone in prayer. His face was pale, his eyes alight with something that seemed not of this world. This was Bernard, the man whom history would call Dr. Mellifluous, the honey-tongued doctor, because his words poured sweetness into the soul. Yet he himself did not speak for glory or for crowds. He spoke for love, divine, burning, boundless love. Born in 1090 to a noble family, Bernard was not destined for obscurity. His youth was marked by charm and brilliance, but also by a fire that could not rest. When others sought pleasure or battle, he sought silence. One night, walking through the forest near Dijon, he felt what he later described as a wound of love so deep that it became a calling. He left everything, family, inheritance, prestige, and entered the austere monastery of Citeaux, the heart of the new Cistercian reform. He was barely 22, yet 30 others followed him, drawn not by his words, but by the flame that radiated from his conviction. Life at Citeaux was harsh, cold stone, hard labor, nights of prayer that seemed to stretch into eternity. But Bernard found there what the world could never give: peace. "My cell," he said, "is my paradise, where I speak to God and God speaks to me." Within 3 years, he was sent to found a new monastery in the wild valley of Clairvaux, the Valley of Light. It began as nothing: marsh, forest, mud, and hunger. But under his leadership, it became a beacon. The monks worked, prayed, and sang in rhythm with the earth. Bernard taught them that the true work of a monk was not the plow or the pen, but love. "What do you seek here?" he asked the novices. "You seek the love that loved you first." He wrote treatises not on doctrine, but on desire, on loving God, on the Song of Songs. His theology was not cold argument, but the poetry of encounter. "The soul that loves," he wrote, "is like a spark drawn upward into the flame of God." His words spread across Europe like light from a candle, illuminating kings, popes, scholars, and peasants alike. He became counselor to the mighty, yet remained clothed in simplicity. To him, the church was not a throne but a garden, tended by love and watered by tears. He wrote to the Pope, "You are called not to rule, but to serve love." And when schism threatened to tear Christendom apart, it was Bernard who reconciled it, not with power, but with gentleness. Yet for all his influence, he feared his own pride more than any enemy. "The greatest danger," he wrote, "is not the devil's snares, but the praise of men." His prayer was constant: "Let me seek you, not myself, in all I do." Nights in Clairvaux were filled with silence broken only by chant. In the flicker of candlelight, Bernard would meditate on the crucifix, tears sliding down his cheeks. "The cross," he said, "is the school of love. There, I learn what I must teach." He saw in the wounds of Christ not sorrow, but victory; not pain, but invitation. "The bridegroom," he wrote, "was pierced that he might open the door of his heart to the bride." For Bernard, every soul was that bride, every longing the echo of divine desire. He believed heaven was not a distant reward, but a present flame, burning in those who love. As the years deepened, Bernard's name echoed far beyond the valley of Clairvaux. Kings sought his counsel, popes his blessing, and entire nations his words. Yet he never sought the world. The world came to him. When Europe was drowning in corruption and conflict, Bernard became its conscience. He wrote letters like flames, tender but fierce. "You are the image of God," he reminded princes, not his rival. His voice, calm yet commanding, called men back to humility. He was chosen to preach the Second Crusade, a task that weighed heavily on him. He spoke to vast crowds beneath cathedral arches and open skies, his thin frame trembling with conviction. "Do not go to kill," he cried, "but to give your life." Yet when the crusade failed, he was heartbroken. "I spoke," he confessed, "but perhaps not enough of love." In the solitude of his cell, he wept before the crucifix. "Lord," he whispered, "let me speak only when you breathe through me." It was then that his writings turned inward again, toward the mystery that had always burned in him, the mystery of divine love. He described the soul as a vessel made for fire, and love as the only truth that endures. "Love," he wrote, "seeks no cause beyond itself, no fruit beyond its own joy. I love because I love. I love that I may love." For Bernard, this was not sentiment, but theology. He saw God as infinite charity, not an idea to be understood, but a presence to be adored. "Reason can take you to the door," he told his monks, "but only love can open it." His sermons on the Song of Songs became his life's testament, 86 meditations tracing the dance of the soul and the beloved. In them, the divine was not distant or austere, but tender, intimate, and passionate. "The word kisses the soul," he wrote, "and in that union, life begins." He spoke of Mary as the aqueduct of grace, the channel through which divine love flows into the world. Through her, he said, he came to us. Through her, we return to him. To Bernard, she was not a statue of marble, but the living mirror of God's tenderness. As his body weakened, his words grew softer, like a fading song. His monks would find him late at night, still kneeling in prayer, the candlelight trembling on his face. "I'm waiting for the light," he said. "When he comes, I shall sleep in his heart." In his final days, he asked to be carried to the chapel. The brothers gathered around him, their voices low, chanting the psalms he loved. He could no longer lift his hands, but his lips moved with the words, "I sleep, but my heart watches." When the chant ended, he looked at the crucifix and smiled faintly. "Jesus," he whispered, "you have wounded me with your love." Then, with one final breath, he said, "It is enough." They said that as he died, the light in the chapel grew warm and golden, and the scent of flowers filled the air, though it was winter. The monks wept, not in despair, but as men who had seen heaven touch the earth. In the years after his death, the church would call him Doctor of Love, the voice that taught the world that theology without affection is empty. His writings spread like living fire, inspiring mystics, poets, and saints for centuries. The film's final scene would show the valley of Clairvaux at dawn, mist curling over the fields, the sound of distant chanting rising like breath. The camera would move slowly toward the monastery window, where a candle flickers beside an open book. His voice would echo softly over the landscape. The measure of love is to love without measure. And when love fills the soul becomes God's song. The image would fade into pure gold, then to white, a final vision of a heart consumed by divine flame, still burning long after the man was gone.